Hello, this is owner Andrew speaking, owner of the Looters. Woo woo. I would like to just discuss everything that happened this week as, we finally lost. We knew it was coming. Everyone knew it was coming, okay? There's only been one undefeated team. That was 72 Dolphins, okay? Much as I like to think of myself as the 72 Dolphins, we're not, okay? But, that's going to happen whenever the Raiders put up a goose egg and you have their top two players and they give you a combined 6 points between your RB1 and your wide receiver one. That's going to happen, And kudos to Chase for putting up, the respectable score. I mean, he could have put up, 98 the way his team looks, and his team put up, 130, and he was a better team out there that week. But with some time to recover, I think I come away with one major thing, and that's we're fine, baby. We're still number one. Okay, we got the most points. We still got the bye, and you know what? That was our stinker. Okay, we knew it was coming. Everyone has a stinker. Okay, and ours didn't come on a big bye week. Ours just happened to come whenever our players stunk ass. So. We're going to learn from it, we're going to grow from it, we're going to adapt, and we're going to overcome. So, honestly, I cannot wait to continue to shove our fists down everyone's throat. I have no doubt that at the end of the year, he'll be number one. Looters out, baby.
Gentlemen, welcome to week 9. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. We had a major upset last week and had some very the playoff picture looks very interesting heading into week 9. So let's go ahead and recap how we got here and what happened in week 8. Starting in Southern Illinois, the Shadow Troop fell to the Bond County Coonhounds. It looked like it was going to be really close. That was one that sort of had to get sweat out on Monday night, whenever the Bengals started off super slow against the Browns, but the Bond County Coonhounds were able to come well and away above for the win, still scoring over 150 points, so that was good to see. An upset that we had here, but it's not really when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. The Clark County Crusaders were able to top the Middle Tennessee Riflemen. And the Clark County Crusaders, man, they look dangerous. I told you guys last week, and it's going to reflect in the power rankings. Also, just to note, heading into, I think this is the most shifts I have had in the power rankings in 1 week. It was absolutely insane. Lots of trades going through. So let's continue to recap week 8. We had the Cali Pigs scoring over 200 points and beating the Beecher Creatures. Beecher Creatures put up a pretty good week at 145, but just not enough to outlast the Cali Pigs, who are looking like a wagon coming here down the stretch. The Dallas Dragons were able to top the Golden Opportunities. The Dragons are looking like a playoff team. Took almost a sort of selling route early in the year, but it was actually, due to injuries and stuff like that and other players selling, he's put himself right back in the race. Moving on, our biggest upset of the week, the Tennessee Colonels topping the St. Louis Looters. There are now no more undefeated teams in the Gentlemen's Football Association, and a super underperformance by the Looters, very uncharacteristic of them. However, I don't see this as a trend, and the Looters also have a relatively easy schedule going forward, so I would not look for this to have terrible implications moving forward. Now, going on to the Huntsville Hitmen, who were able to take out the Delvin Deer pretty handily. Moving into week 9, we have our marquee matchup of the week. And I think honestly, with how close these teams are projected to each other, I would say the Beecher Creatures and the St. Louis Looters. The Creatures are in desperate need for a win if they want to make a late season push, and the Looters definitely don't want to go back-to-back losses. So I think those are going to be some of the biggest ones. The Middle Tennessee Riflemen, if they don't figure things out this week, they'd be looking. They're going to be 5-4, and they've got 5 guys on bye this week in the starting lineup, so it's going to be a difficult stretch there. Let's move in to the power rankings this week. Coming in at number 12, we have the Delvin Deer, unfortunately, but he's no stranger to the 12 spot. Sam Hodges is going to be there possibly the rest of the year, but I hate to move anybody else down there because I don't think they're deserving yet. Although he has made some changes to better his team in the future. So I like the foundation that he's built going forward, but I think we're going to see that in the years to come. Coming in at number 11, we have the Golden Opportunities. Russ has continued to, in fact, not cook, along with Cortland Sutton, which is a huge letdown for Casale. And his team is not terrible on paper. They just have not produced what the paper has told us that they would. And so that's super disappointing, but I've got the Golden Opportunities at 11, which is down 1 spot from last week. Moving up 1 spot from last week, the Tennessee Colonels. I figured I'd give a nod to the large upset that happened in St. Louis. The Tennessee Colonels are moving up to the 10 spot this week. Moving down 3 spots this week, the Beecher Creatures. This is another team that it could be built to play in the 5, 6, 7 spot, but just have not played like it. Had an outstanding week last week to sort of scare the Cali Pigs, but they just put on too much of an onslaught. I think there was a little bit of a sell mode here in Beecher, and he's definitely set up really well going long term, but I just don't think that this is a team that is built to compete for this year. Moving up 1 spot from last week, the Huntsville Hitmen. He's sneakily making some moves and sitting at 4-4. The Huntsville Hitmen are not to be taken lightly, that's for sure. This is definitely a team that can still put up points, and I think the power ranking shows that. He's going to definitely be battling for one of those 2 last playoff spots here come down the stretch. If he can put something together, it's absolutely possible. Right now, I've got him just outside in my power rankings. Moving down 2 spots this week is going to end at number 7 is the Shadow Troop. Shadow Troop's currently sitting at 7-5. With the team that he has, it's a lot like I would describe the Golden Opportunities. Absolutely not terrible at all on paper, but finds itself struggling to find their top performance week to week. And so I think that's the thing that this team struggles with. I think they're a couple of players away, maybe some late acquisitions. If the Shadow Troops sneak out a win this week, they can see some light at the end of the tunnel. No reason that this team could not jump into the playoffs as they were in the playoff picture, if not last week, the week before that. So moving up 2 spots this week, we have the Dallas Dragons. Sneaky team here in Dallas. Again, him being the first to quote-unquote sell has put him in a great spot for the years to come, but has also now inadvertently put himself in a playoff spot currently here in Dallas, and they're not to be reckoned with either. They sit at 5-3. Some you could argue that there were some illegitimate wins there in Dallas with some lineups not being set, but you are what your record says you are at the moment, and the Dallas Dragons are 6th in my power rankings. Moving down one spot to number 5 is the Middle Tennessee Riflemen. Definitely the last few weeks, the bye weeks have hurt him, and that's been pretty apparent. But what he was able to do prior to the bye weeks kicking in has definitely saved him from some drastic measures that he would have to take. I think this is his last worst bye week, and so that's certainly going to be nice going forward, being pretty much at full strength the rest of the year. So the Middle Tennessee Riflemen at the moment down one spot at number 5. I like him there. Up 2 spots from last week, the Clark County Crusaders in at number 4. Absolutely insane. This team is dangerous. This team could absolutely win it all. I would not be shocked in any way, shape, or form if this team is the team that ends up taking it all the way. You saw last week, I think they put up 175. He could do that every week from here on out. He's got a couple of bye weeks here and there, but he's pretty much back to full strength, I think, either next week or the week after. So that is the team that's going to be continuing to climb up these rankings, and is gonna be beaten up on some people. So this is absolutely a team you do not want to play coming down the stretch or in the playoffs. Coming in at number 3, moving down one spot from last week, the Bond County Coonhounds. The reason I did this was because I think the way that we won last week was super unconvincing. It was very, very apparent that, with Jamar Chase not on the field, the Bengals kind of have to figure things out. So, you have to worry about how, Joe Burrow's going to do in that spot. The Bucs have not been fantastic, and Leonard Fournette has kind of become touchdown dependent. Khalil Herbert has been a surprise, great addition to the team. Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson have always been what they are, and that's great. Dallas Goedert, always a touchdown threat. Amon-Ra St. Brown is super questionable at the moment in Detroit. So I think there's more question marks than what we would like in Bond County. And so that's why I've got myself at number 3. Moving up one spot at number 2. I've got the Cali Pigs back in at number 2. This past week was sort of a reminder for what this team has always been from the beginning of the year. And it's an absolute scoring powerhouse. This team would not surprise me if they won the whole thing, because even on most teams' best week, this team can outscore you, and it's not even close. So that's why I've got that huge boom threat of the Cali Pigs at number 2. Staying at number 1 this week, I've got the St. Louis Looters. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be a trend going forward with the losses. You heard the post-game press conference from owner Andrew Torbeck, and I kind of agree with him. He's got a pretty easy stretch coming down the last half of the season, and I would be surprised if he doesn't finish with that just one loss heading into the playoffs. He'll have the bye, and he's gonna be a tough out, and I don't see a reason to move him down yet. Just because I don't think there has been anybody deserving of that one spot quite yet. But I tell you, the Cali Pigs are close. So, with that being said, I'm looking forward to what happens this week. Could be a lot of shakeups. Week 10, it's going to tell a lot. We've got a lot of teams at 500 or just below, and we've got some teams that are just above 500. This race for the playoff spots, honestly, when I'm looking at the playoff tree here, you've got the Clark County Crusaders and the Cali Pigs facing off first. You've got the Dallas Dragons and the Middle Tennessee Riflemen. I think the only solidified playoff spot in those is the Cali Pigs, and that's just because I don't think that they're going to lose the rest of the year. The Clark County Crusaders are going to be really hard to beat going forward. The Middle Tennessee Riflemen, Dallas Dragons, Clark County Crusaders possibly. Those are the those 2-3 playoff spots are up for grabs. If a team gets hot, if a team falls apart, they could absolutely go to anybody. I'm excited to see how this week shapes out because these next 2 weeks are going to be crucial. I'll see you guys in week 10.